This is probably the best job I've ever had.
What I like about this job is being able to make a difference.
This is rough reality.
This would be a horrible job if you didn't care about people.
For the people who are like, I want to help, I encourage that. I'm like, okay, well then, this is the job for you.
The job of a CPS investigator is to investigate reports that we receive on a statewide level regarding abuse or neglect to children. We receive reports based on the county in which the family resides. Once we receive the report, it's assigned to a particular unit and then a particular caseworker.
When I get a report of abuse and neglect, the first thing I do is look at the history of the family. From there, I go out and visit the children. I visit people that know the children, the family dynamics. I go and meet with the parents, get medical information. I do school collaterals. And from there, I go ahead and look for resources to help the family out. When you first knock on a door, you can be a little anxious and nervous. You don't know what's behind the door. Today, though, I'm revisiting a family who was involved in domestic violence. They're in North Austin. There is an emergency protective order in place. And I'm here to check the children again and mom to make sure everything's okay. Because I want to make sure, one, that he's not trying to come back here.
Yeah.
Great kids.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
You do a good job with them, and you need to be there for them.
Yes, I do.
When investigations determines that the family needs more assistance, that's when they send it on to family-based safety services so that we can help them strengthen their family, strengthen their parenting. We have a lot of parents that have not had the experience of having good role models as they were growing up, so they don't know how to do a lot of things. Maybe they're not very good at cleaning, and I have to show them, this is how you organize things. Maybe they're not very good at talking with their children. We want our families to succeed because children deserve to be raised by their parents. They deserve to be there. Parents deserve to be part of their children's lives.
So when the investigator determines that a child is not safe in their home, one of the options is to remove the children. And when that happens, the children can be placed either in foster care or in what we call a kinship home. And a kinship home is a family or friend, someone the child knows and is comfortable with, where it's safe for the child to stay in the meantime. So today I've got 3 visits scheduled, and my first stop is a kinship caregiver, but she's basically like the children's grandmother. She's tried to be there to support them, she's championed the things that they've done well, and she's tried to help the parents make better decisions.
And this is the kids' room. Oh, and that's Mother Kitty.
The kitty.
She's the queen of the house.
Is she a mother?
Yeah, she was once upon a time. She's no longer doing those duties.
Both girls are still on the bottom and Eli's on top?
Right, he's on top.
Okay. And we may have to do something different if you become a licensed
Yes, I
foster
understand
parent.
that.
So, if you need to get a bed, let me know. There are times we can help with a bed also.
Yeah,
Okay?
he that's in the works, hopefully.
Our role is to ease the transition for the families. Foster families have been through a lot of training, they know what they're getting into, whereas kinship families often don't really know what they're getting into. There's a lot of complications with the CPS system, with the legal system. They may not realize what's really happening in the home with the children. They may have a lot of things to deal with the parents. And so in kinship, our role is to help them through all of those difficulties.
What we do is we help children who have been removed from their home and placed into foster care or kinship placement. Kinship placement is when they're placed with a relative. We give the family the opportunity to get the child returned to them. They have usually between 12 and 18 months to get the child back, and to do that, they have to go to court with us and demonstrate that they've changed their behaviors so that the child will be safe in their care. We also monthly visit the child to make sure the child is safe in their current placement. So can you read me a story?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, a bedtime story.
We facilitate visitation with the child and parent, We sometimes assist the parent in transportation to various courses and classes they have to take so they can learn new skills to make them safer and more capable to be a parent for their child. More often than not, the parents start their time with CPS hating us. They don't like us. They don't like the fact that we're involved with their life. And normally, I get told that they didn't do anything wrong. CPS is wrong for interfering with their business. And so they're just already angry by the time I get the case. It's my job to try to de-escalate the situation, to talk to them, to get them to work with me. Sometimes I'm successful, and then sometimes I'm not. I've had parents who just refuse to work with the agency at all. And that's very frustrating because we're here to help.
In order to adopt a child, the process can take anywhere from 6 months to 1 year. We need an adoptive home study. They need to be licensed to adopt. We interview the family. We present the child's case to them. So once they're chosen to be a permanent home, the child will need to be placed in the home for 6 months before we can proceed to consummate the adoption. The reason we wait 6 months is to provide support services and ensure that the child is well adjusted, that the family is able to manage, and that it's a successful placement. We want to be supportive for all these adoptive families.
You can't go in this job expecting everything to be rainbows and roses. There are going to be hard times. There are going to be times where you're like, why am I even doing this? Because you feel as though you failed. You have failed.
It takes an emotional toll because you're seeing situations that you have no control over, that you can't make better, or you see children being hurt.
The most frustrating part of this job for me is the removal of a child or child death. That's heartbreaking, and that's you have to recover from that, and you don't really get a time to process it because you have to go on to the next case.
One thing that I do in particular, when I have very bad days, I will go and visit my daughter and my grandchildren, just so that I can sit and watch them and say, this is why I do what I'm doing, because every child deserves to have a happy home and to grow up like this. And then it makes it okay. Then I can go on for another day.
Hey everybody, we're back again with our series Love Thy Neighbor. Today I'm here with Carol, and Carol is the president of the board of directors for the Rainbow Room. Some of you may be asking, what is the Rainbow Room? Some of you may have heard about it, but I find it very, very exciting. And so if this is the first time, I think you're really going to enjoy this. And if you've supported the Rainbow Room in the past, I think you're going to be very excited that more people will know about it. Carol, thank you very much for taking my invitation.
Well, thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Can you tell somebody who may have never heard or knows very little about the Rainbow Room, can you tell us what it's about?
Well, the Rainbow Room was set up 20 years ago by the county as a nonprofit organization that supports Child Protective Services caseworkers and adult protective services, but we mostly do the kids. So we get things that they need. So when a child is removed from the home and they may need clothes, or the people they're being placed with may need a bed to accommodate the child, and that's the kind of stuff we do.
Wow, that's actually rather incredible. So a child in an abusive situation or something has happened with family and they have to be removed from the home. And so you guys get involved in helping some of the needs. What is your role here, and how long have you been?
I've been with the organization almost from the beginning, so it's been 20 years now. And I started as the shopper, and I still do the shopping.
Okay.
So if they need something that's not in the room itself, I go purchase those items. But we have things on the shelves that have been donated by the community, all the diapers and the hygiene items and school supplies and toys that we have here have pretty much been donated by the community.
Wow, and I'm looking at quite a bit of things here, which is just, that's beautiful to see a community come together and help. Again, we've talked about, the words that Jesus used, of clothing and when I'm naked, or giving, or healing, which some of this has got to be a little bit healing, because I can't imagine being a child and removed from my home because we don't understand how bad it is. And so I can't imagine just being in that unknown.
Yeah. And that's part of what we try to do, is not just meet their basic needs, but help them have as normal a childhood as possible. So to go to school and to be able to be dressed like their peers, to have all the school supplies they need so they're ready to go from day one. And that's the kind of stuff that really helps a child's self-esteem.
And that's something I don't think most people think about. A child's removed from the home, something's happened, and may not have those basic needs that we all think nothing about.
Yes.
I didn't even think, when you just said, of looking the same as everybody else when they go to school. And because, yes, to get education, your mind needs to be as clear as possible, and to be worrying about what you're wearing compared to somebody else, and especially in today's world, right? Must be very difficult. So 20 years.
Yes.
You have a heart for it, don't you?
I do. And I've kind of waxed and waned, like I've been more involved at some times, a little less involved at others. But right now I'm just really involved. I took over as president again. I'd been president once before years ago, but I just saw the need for it, that we really needed to get out in the community and, make sure that people know who we are so that we can keep this thing going.
Absolutely. What an incredible ministry. It really is. Let me ask you, Carol, obviously you've got a heart for it. Like I just said a few minutes ago, you've been doing this for a long time, which tells me, that you love it. What has been, I would say, one of your stories or a highlight of something that you have seen that just grabbed your heart?
Well, I always tell this story. So I had a phone call one night at 10 o'clock at night. A caseworker had several children that had been removed from their home and they needed clothes. The foster family was coming to pick them up. And so she gave me the sizes. I went to Walmart and shopped, and it was 3 little ones. And when I came through the door, they were in the waiting room out in front waiting to be picked up. And I had, bags full of Walmart stuff. And I came in and I said, I have some clothes for you. I said, I hope you like them. And the oldest boy, Joey, said, we would like whatever you gave us. And he just melted my heart,
Yeah.
And here he was the older one. The 2 younger ones, he was holding the baby, feeding it a bottle when I came in. And as everyone was leaving that night, he looked up at me and he said, I hope my mom's going to be okay. And he said, she's never been alone before. And it just killed me, Here he is 8 years old, and he has to worry about everybody else. 8 years old. So I've always thought of him whenever I'm dealing with any of the kids up here, and just thinking what a burden they have to carry, and anything we can do to help them be kids instead of having to be an adult at 8 years old. That's just what we're trying to accomplish here.
And worried about his mother.
Yeah.
In the middle of that. You're right. What a burden on his heart and mind for that child. And
in that case, he went to one foster home and the 2 little ones went to another. So they weren't able to all 3 stay together. And that often happens because there just isn't always placement for all 3 to be able to go together to the same place. So.
Do you ever get the opportunity to find out what happened with them? Or?
Very seldom. Because really, as the Rainbow Room, we don't have much contact with the children, and there's a lot of confidentiality that needs to be maintained. Absolutely. So, we very often don't hear. But
I understand, because on a ministry side, a lot of times we're planting seeds.
Yes.
And we don't know what happens. And I've always said, well, that's because it's God's seed, right?
Yes.
And we're the planters.
Yes.
But you always wonder, how did they turn
And you never know, because sometimes, some of the families that we help, not all the families have the children removed. Sometimes there's things that need to be done in the home. The children are, not in imminent danger. but there are things that need to be addressed in the home. So
Sure.
we have another program that helps with them. And I often think, sometimes people just get so far below water they don't know which end is up. And if you can just help kind of normalize things, get everybody a bed, everybody gets a good night's sleep, the kids have what they need to go to school, and take care of some of that so that's off their plate so they can start working on some of the other things they need to deal with.
Absolutely. And I've said over and over in our interviews that everyone has had someone somehow be a mentor, a teacher, someone who has helped them
Yes.
out of the water. Christ pulls up Peter,
Yes.
and helps us, or even give us simple confidence in who we are, and which helps us then in life.
Yes.
And I can see you're doing that and giving that person, that comfort at that time. So let me just ask, so do y'all take care of these children only when they are removed from the home, or there's a condition in the home that is needs to be addressed?
Yes.
Or do y'all take care of also kids in foster homes? Or?
Yes, the kids are there in foster home as long as they're a Rockwall case. They stay on our caseload. And we help them throughout the year with things like back to school clothes, and at Christmas time they get Christmas gifts. We have wish lists that go out in the community, and people adopt a child and provide Christmas for them. So just,
That's a big job. Because I wasn't sure when you first talked about it, it was just at that time of this emergency or this case, but to continue with the children and helping them, that is a big job for
to
the
help
Rainbow
them
Room.
support them throughout the year too, because they do get some funds to help take care of kids in the home, but it doesn't come close to meeting what it takes to raise a child. So
Right.
yeah.
And how much funding, or I don't need a money amount, but I mean, is there funding from the county, or
We are now, just last year we finally did get funding from the county, which is a huge blessing
after
for
20
us.
years you finally?
Yeah.
Thanks be to God on
Yes.
that.
So, and hopefully that'll continue. That it's just a little bit, but it sure helps a lot.
Yeah, but it shows for the county to do that, you've caught their attention that y'all are doing really good work.
Well,
For them to add that to the budget, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
So then the majority of your income and your items that you see here are all donated.
Yes. So the different individuals and businesses and schools and different service organizations, they donate to us. So they either donate money, they'll have, a drive to support us in some way, or they'll, have a diaper drive or collect school supplies for us and drop it off. And just people, just the general public, they'll see something on sale at the store and they'll pick up a bunch of items and bring them here and drop them off for us. So it's been wonderful.
Okay, well that's really good to know. If we see things that are on sale, etc., grab them for the Rainbow Room.
Yeah.
Wow. So let me ask you, what kind of help can Holy Trinity continue to do, or?
Well, Holy Trinity helped us when we were starting up a program for our young adults, our teenage kids, because we have a lot of things in here for little bitty kids, but not a lot of toys and things for little kids. But the older kids, our teenagers, have special needs. There's things that normal teenagers just take for granted, like having a cell phone. And so when we met with your board and talked about what it was we needed to do, we decided to start a program just for our teenagers, and that seed money enabled us to get a cell phone for each of our children that are 16 or older, and we're talking about dropping the age on that down to 13. Because one of the teachers was telling me that the first day of school they were told to get their phones out and do a problem on their phone, and her granddaughter, who she had not allowed to have a phone, didn't have a phone, and everybody else is sitting there doing the work and she couldn't do it. So it's just part of being in this world anymore is having a cell phone. So
I'm glad you brought that up, because there is a lot of attitude sometimes. Why does a kid need a phone or a cell phone, thinking that it's for just a luxury?
Yes.
But it has become a necessity. And a matter of fact, I've had parents even at our church and in the community talk to me about that, because they realize their children do need them. Like you said, when a teacher says, pull this out, put this apple in there so that you can do this. Especially right now with the pandemic. And so it has become part of our, basically it's like having a computer, a child needing a computer, or tablet
Yeah.
or something. So
And it's just another case of being like everyone else.
Absolutely.
Being in school and feeling like you fit in with your peers.
right,
So-
and the emergencies.
Yes.
You know, now you can call home.
Oh, yeah.
You know, or find where
Mhm.
somebody is.
Yeah, if you need to get a ride or whatever.
I can remember waiting for hours or looking for hours,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for your friend or whatever at the mall, and you couldn't find them,
Yes.
you know, because, and now you can.
Yeah.
So I think that's fantastic, and I love that we were able to help with that
Yeah.
seed money
Uh-huh.
to be able to do that for those kids.
Yeah.
And I hope that we will, and I know that we will continue. We have an
Mhm.
incredible outreach committee,
Mhm.
and I know that there's a couple people in there that know you well and know
Yes.
this organization well,
Mm-hmm.
and love it.
Yeah.
And so I really would love to thank you for this interview. I love that you have let us come in and actually see the Rainbow Room.
That's great.
Just know that you can help the Rainbow Room in so many different ways. Our outreach committee tries to help them each year, as you know, and we will talk more. There's a process in which I'll come and talk about what the latest needs are so that we are up to date. But again, thank you so much, Carol.
Thank you. I appreciate
Okay.
it.
Anyway, thank you so much. I hope you all are continuing to enjoy Love Thy Neighbor. I hope that it's making an impact in your life like it really has for me. And so until next time, we love you and blessings. Well, Carol is now going to show us a few of the items that they have here at the Rainbow Room. So it will give us ideas or give you ideas of some of the things that are needed. Carol, go ahead and show
Okay.
us.
So we do have some clothes here, not too many, because we can't really keep clothes for boys and girls, all ages and sizes throughout the year, but we do have a few things here. What we're really lacking right at the moment is our school supplies, because we just did our school supply drive and filled all the backpacks and gave them to the kids. But for the new kids coming in, we're going to want to fill our shelves back up so we have everything they need. We do have some bedding that we keep when we find some on sale. We buy twin bedding and bring that in.
Okay.
And we have diapers in every size and description you can think of. And over here we have all our baby items, the wipes and the shampoo and the baby wash and baby bottles and formula. And then we keep hygiene items on hand. So we have shampoo and conditioner and toothpaste and toothbrushes, deodorant and things like that. And we've tried to get some things for our older kids. So someone donated some hair dryers and curling irons and stuff like that to us, and electric shavers. So we have those now. And we have toys. As I was telling you, we can't keep toys in the visitation rooms here at the moment. So when a child comes for a visit now, they come in and pick out a toy and they can play with it while they have a visit with their family, and then they can take the toy home with them. And we have some bedding. Some of the National Charity League girls make these little fleece blankets for us and bring them, and we have people that knit and crochet little handmade blankets for us. And we have our blue bags, so when the kids come, they can put all their belongings in a blue bag and take that with them, you know, full of their clothes and things like that.
That's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
Hi, Father Keith. This is Dee. Amanda asked me to make a video and tell you a short video telling you about my involvement with the Rainbow Room. I think it was the early 2000s, maybe late 1999-ish, 98, that I was asked to be on a foundation or an inquiry board, I can't remember what it was called, discussing the need for children that come in and are picked up in the middle of the night by DPS or by Child Protective Services and needed things to go to school the next day, clean clothes, backpacks, school supplies. And so, as you know, out of that grew what is now the Rainbow Room. Then later on, I was involved in it when I was president of Rockwall Women's League. We would do showers for kids that were testing out of the foster care system and needed clothes to finish the year, food, money, those kind of things, to be able to stay in school in the Rockwall schools and to find a place to live and to finish their senior years. Oh yeah, and in National Charity League, my daughter and I in high school would do showers, backpack showers for National Charity League. Would raise money, would replenish diapers and backpacks and things like that. And then when I joined Ebby Halliday, one of the reasons I went with Ebby Halliday was that she started a school in Dallas. Not a school. She started a house for kids that were aging out in the Dallas DISD to have a house to house these girls so they could finish their senior years. So that was part of my experience with Rainbow Room. And I like being on outreach because I still get to do some volunteer work with these charities that I love. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve and be a part of these organizations or help these organizations in any way I can. And I'm so glad and grateful that our church has these ministries that we support. I hope this helps. Thank you.
If you were an ice cream flavor, you would be my favorite one. My imagination sees you like a painting by Van Gogh. Starry nights and bright sunflowers follow you where you may go. Oh, I've loved you from the start in every single way, and more each passing day. You are brighter than the stars. Believe me when I say it's not